There's someone you tried to forget, but they never really left. You walked away. You stayed quiet. You told yourself it's finished, but somehow, in the most unexpected moments, they return. Not in your life, but in your mind. A memory, a feeling, a presence you can't fully erase. And the question that keeps following you is this: if they're not written for me, then why does my heart still hold on to them? Why does it still feel so real, even after everything has changed? You tried to distract yourself. You tried to move forward. You tried to convince your heart to let go. But nothing truly worked, because this was never just about forgetting a person. There's something deeper happening inside you, something most people never stop to understand. Because sometimes, when someone refuses to leave your mind, it's not a sign that you're meant to chase them. It's a sign that you're meant to see something. Something about your heart, your attachment, your direction. And maybe, just maybe, this isn't a coincidence at all. Maybe Allah is using this feeling to teach you something that could change your life completely. And once you truly see it, you won't feel stuck anymore. You'll feel guided. This was never about them. It was about the part of you Allah chose to awaken. You thought it was about a person, their presence, their words, the way they made you feel when they were around you. It felt real, strong, and different from anything you had experienced before. But if you slow down and really look inside your heart, you'll begin to notice something deeper was happening the entire time. They didn't create those feelings in you. They didn't place that love, that care, that depth inside your heart. They simply brought it out. They revealed what was already there, hidden, waiting, and untouched. The way you felt understood, the way your heart softened, the way you cared without holding back. That was never because of them alone. That was because of who you are. Allah placed that purity, that emotional depth, that ability to love sincerely inside you long before they ever entered your life. And, at a certain moment, Allah allowed this person to come close, not to complete you, but to show you yourself. Think about it carefully. Before them, you didn't even know your heart could feel this way. You didn't know you could care this deeply or connect this strongly. And now that they are not there the same way anymore, it feels like something is missing. But what feels missing is not them. It's that part of you that was awakened and now feels silent again. And this is where most people misunderstand everything. They think the person was the source of the feeling, so they keep chasing the person. But the truth is, the feeling came from within you. And if Allah brought it out once, He can bring it out again in a way that is pure, peaceful, and right for you. Allah allowed this connection at the exact time you needed it, not randomly, not by accident. There was wisdom in it. Maybe your heart was closed before. Maybe you had become emotionally distant, guarded, or numb. And through this person, Allah softened you. He opened something inside you that had been locked for a long time. But here's the deeper truth. That awakening was never meant to turn into dependence. It was meant to turn into awareness. Allah was showing you the kind of heart you carry. A heart that can love deeply. A heart that feels sincerely. A heart that is capable of something real and meaningful. But at the same time, He is also teaching you not to give that heart to someone who is not meant to hold it. And once you truly understand this, everything begins to change inside you. You stop seeing them as the center of the story. You start seeing yourself and what Allah was showing you through them. You realize the value was never in their presence, their attention, or their validation. The value was always in what Allah placed inside you from the very beginning. And when you hold on to that understanding, you don't feel empty anymore. You feel aware, because now you know what you felt was real. But it didn't belong to them. It belonged to you. And it was shown to you by Allah for a reason. Your attachment is exposing exactly where your heart lost its balance. Be honest with yourself for a moment, not with your words, but with your heart. Why does it hurt this much? Why does your mind keep returning to them, even when you know it's not bringing you peace? Why do you still feel pulled, even when part of you knows you should let go? Because somewhere along the way, your heart leaned too far in one direction. At first, it felt natural. You cared, you connected, you opened up. There was comfort in their presence, ease in their words, and a sense of closeness that felt rare. Slowly, without even noticing, they became more than just someone in your life. They became someone your heart started relying on. And that's where the balance began to shift. You didn't plan for it. You didn't wake up one day and decide to attach your peace to a person. It happened quietly, through small moments, repeated thoughts, emotional dependence that built over time. You started checking how they felt to understand how you should feel. You started finding calm in their attention and unease in their distance. And now that they're not there in the same way, everything feels off. That heaviness you feel, that confusion, that emotional pull that won't settle, it's not just because they're gone, it's because your heart is trying to find stability again after placing too much weight on something temporary. And this is not something to feel ashamed of. This is something to understand, because Allah, in His wisdom, allows certain attachments to shake, not to break you, but to show you where your heart quietly lost its balance. Anything your heart begins to depend on more than it should will eventually be tested, not because Allah wants to hurt you, but because He wants to protect you from building your peace on something that cannot hold it. And right now, this feeling you can't escape, this constant return of thoughts, this inability to fully let go, it's exposing something clearly. It's showing you that your heart gave more than it should have. And now it's being called back to its center, called back to where it finds real stability. Because true peace was never meant to come from a person who can change, leave, or fall short. Real peace comes from the one who never changes, never leaves, and never fails you. And this moment, as uncomfortable as it feels, is an invitation to slowly take your heart back, to feel without losing control, to care without becoming dependent, to love, but still remain grounded in your connection with Allah first. This doesn't mean you stop feeling. It means you learn where to place those feelings. You begin to rebuild your heart in a healthier way, where your emotions are guided, not controlling you. And the more you understand this, the lighter it starts to feel. Because now, you're not just stuck in attachment, you're learning from it, you're growing through it, and most importantly, you're bringing your heart back into balance, where it was always meant to be. You're being trained to let go in a way that will change you forever. Letting go sounds simple when you hear it, but when it reaches your heart, it becomes one of the hardest things you will ever face. Because you're not just letting go of a person, you're letting go of moments, feelings, hopes, and a version of life you quietly imagined in your mind. And that's why this process feels so heavy, because even when they're not there, the connection still lives inside you. The memories don't disappear when you decide to move on. The feelings don't switch off just because you understand it's not right. You still think about them, you still feel that pull, you still catch yourself going back in your mind without even realizing it. And this is where the real test begins. Because letting go is not one decision. It's a process that repeats itself again and again. Every time their name crosses your mind, you're given a choice. Every time a memory appears, you're given a choice. Every time your heart feels that familiar pull, you're given a choice to go back or to slowly step forward. And each time you choose not to chase that feeling, even when it's difficult, you're being trained, not by life alone, but by Allah. This is not random pain. This is a quiet form of tarbiyah, a training of your heart. Allah is teaching you something that cannot be learned through comfort. He is teaching you how to release something you once held tightly, without becoming bitter, without losing your softness, without closing your heart completely. Because many people, after being hurt, become hard. They stop feeling, they stop trusting. They build walls so high that nothing can reach them again. But that is not what you are being taught here. You are being taught a deeper strength. The strength to feel, but not be controlled by your feelings. The strength to love, but not lose yourself in that love. The strength to walk away, even when your heart is still catching up. And this kind of strength changes you. It changes how you see people. It changes how you enter connections. It changes how you protect your peace. You start to understand that not every emotion needs to be followed. Not every attachment needs to be kept. Not everything that touches your heart is meant to stay in your life. And slowly, something inside you begins to shift. The same memories that once pulled you back start losing their power. The same thoughts that once controlled your mood start feeling lighter. The same attachment that once felt impossible to break starts loosening its grip, not because you forced it away, but because you outgrew it. And that is the real goal of this process. Not to erase them completely, but to reach a point where they no longer control you, where your peace is no longer connected to their presence or absence, where your heart stands strong, even when something it once loved is no longer there. And when you reach that point, you realize something beautiful. You didn't just let go of a person. You became a stronger, wiser, and more balanced version of yourself. A version of you that knows how to love without losing direction. A version of you that chooses peace, even when emotions are loud. A version of you that trusts Allah's plan, even when the heart doesn't fully understand it yet. And that kind of transformation stays with you forever. Some connections feel deep, but were never written to stay. There are connections that enter your life and feel different from the very beginning. They don't feel ordinary. They feel familiar, intense, almost as if your heart recognized them before your mind could understand. You feel seen in a way you're not used to. You feel understood without explaining too much. And because of that depth, you start believing this must be something permanent. But not everything that feels deep is meant to stay. And this is one of the hardest truths for the heart to accept. Because when something touches you deeply, you assume it has a future. You assume it has a place in your life long term. You start building silent expectations, quiet hopes, small visions of what it could become. And without realizing it, your heart begins to hold on to something that was only meant to pass through. The depth was real, but the duration was never promised. Allah, in His wisdom, sometimes sends people into your life not as a destination, but as a turning point. They come to wake something up inside you, to show you a side of yourself you hadn't met yet, to shift your thinking, to open your heart, to move you in a direction you would not have taken on your own. And once that purpose is fulfilled, they don't stay. Not because you weren't enough, not because you did something wrong, but because their role in your story had a limit, and that limit has been reached. But your heart struggles with this, because it remembers the depth. It remembers how real it felt. It remembers how different it was, and it keeps asking, if it felt this strong, why didn't it last? Because strength of feeling is not always a sign of permanence. Sometimes it's a sign of impact. Some people are not written to walk with you forever, but they are written to leave something inside you that stays. A lesson, a realization, a shift in who you are. And if you try to hold on to them beyond their time, you begin to feel it. The discomfort, the confusion, the lack of peace, because your heart is trying to keep something that Allah has already written to move on. And this is where acceptance becomes important. Not forced acceptance, but understanding. Understanding that just because something was meaningful doesn't mean it was meant to be yours forever. Understanding that Allah's plan is not based only on what feels right in the moment, but on what is truly right for your life. And sometimes, what is right is that it ends, so that something better, something more stable, something more aligned with your peace can take its place. And when you begin to see it this way, the pain slowly changes. It softens. It becomes lighter because you stop questioning your worth and start trusting Allah's wisdom. You stop asking, why did it end? And start understanding why it couldn't stay. And that shift frees your heart in a way nothing else can. These thoughts aren't pulling you back. They're forcing you to outgrow what you once held onto. It feels like your mind keeps dragging you backwards. You're trying to move on, trying to stay strong, trying to focus on your life. But suddenly, without warning, they appear again in your thoughts. A small reminder, a memory, a feeling that brings everything back for a moment. And in that moment, it feels like all your progress disappeared. But look deeper. Are these thoughts really pulling you back? Or are they doing something else? Because every time they return, you don't just feel the connection, you also feel the weight of it. You feel the imbalance, the uncertainty, the lack of peace that came with it. You remember not just what felt good, but also what didn't feel right. And slowly, something begins to change inside you. At first, you were holding on to them because of how it made you feel. Now, you're starting to see the full picture. You're starting to notice that holding on comes with a cost to your peace, a cost to your focus, a cost to your emotional stability. And this is where the shift begins, because these thoughts are not here to trap you forever. They are here to show you clearly, again and again, until you truly understand. Allah is allowing your mind to revisit this connection, not to keep you stuck, but to remove the illusion from it, to show you both sides, the beauty you saw and the reality you ignored, the comfort you felt and the confusion that followed, the hope you built and the instability it carried. And the more you see it clearly, the harder it becomes to hold on to it in the same way. That attachment you once protected slowly starts to lose its meaning, not because you forced yourself to forget, but because your understanding has changed. And this is how real growth happens, not by running away from your thoughts, but by seeing them so clearly that they no longer control you. You begin to notice something new inside yourself. You start choosing peace, even when the memory appears. You start stepping back instead of leaning in. You start saying no to what once felt impossible to resist. And that is not weakness. That is maturity. That is emotional strength being built quietly inside you. Because now you are not reacting to your thoughts. You are observing them. You are learning from them. You are outgrowing them. And one day, without even realizing when it happened, those same thoughts that once had power over you will feel distant, light, almost neutral. They will pass through your mind without shaking your heart. And in that moment, you will understand something deeply. You were never stuck. You were being guided, step by step, to release what you once held onto. And that release won't feel like loss. It will feel like freedom. Allah didn't remove them to hurt you. He removed them to make room for what truly belongs to you. Right now, it feels like something was taken from you, something meaningful, something that touched your heart in a real way. And no matter how much you try to understand it, a part of you still asks quietly, why did it have to end like this? Why did something that felt so right not stay? But what you're feeling right now is only one side of the story, because when Allah removes something from your life, it is never random and it is never without wisdom. It may feel like loss, but in reality, it is protection. It may feel like emptiness, but in truth, it is preparation. Sometimes Allah takes something away, not because it was bad, but because it was not meant to be yours in the way you hoped. And if it stayed, it could have slowly taken your peace, your focus, and even your closeness to Him. So, He removes it, gently or suddenly, but always with purpose. Not to hurt your heart, but to save it from holding on to something that could never fully fulfill it. And that space you feel now, that quiet, that emptiness, that absence, it is not there to punish you. It is there to make room for something cleaner, something more stable, something that will not confuse your heart, but calm it. Because what is truly written for you by Allah does not bring constant chaos. It does not leave you in doubt. It does not make you question your worth or your place. What is truly meant for you comes with a different kind of feeling, a feeling of sukoon, of clarity, of quiet certainty. But your heart cannot receive that if it is still holding tightly to something that has already been removed. And this is why letting go is not just about moving on from the past. It is about making space for your future, a future that is written with more care than you can see right now, a future that is aligned with your peace, your growth, your deen. And sometimes Allah delays that next chapter, not because it's not coming, but because your heart is still in the process of being prepared for it, prepared to receive without attachment, prepared to love without losing balance, prepared to recognize what is right instead of chasing what only feels right. So trust this moment, even if it hurts. Trust the silence, even if it feels empty. Trust the removal, even if you don't understand it yet. Because one day, when what truly belongs to you enters your life, you will feel the difference immediately. There will be no constant confusion, no emotional instability, no need to question if it will stay. Because what Allah writes for you arrives with peace and remains with purpose. And in that moment, you will look back at what you lost, not with pain, but with deep understanding, because you will finally see it was never taken from you. It was moved out of your way so you could receive what was always meant to be yours. And maybe now you're starting to see it a little differently. This wasn't just about a person. It was a moment in your life where Allah was shaping your heart, teaching you something you couldn't learn any other way. The thoughts, the attachment, the confusion, it all had a purpose. Not to break you, but to wake you up. Not to leave you empty, but to guide you back to where your heart truly belongs. So instead of asking, why can't I forget them? Start asking, what is Allah showing me through this? Because the moment you understand the lesson, the weight begins to lift, the attachment begins to loosen, and the peace you've been searching for slowly starts to return. You stop chasing what left, and you start trusting what is being prepared for you. And maybe they were never meant to stay in your life, but they were meant to lead you closer to Allah. And once that happens, you don't feel lost anymore. You feel guided. So be patient with your heart. Give it time to heal. Give it space to grow. And trust this deeply. What is truly written for you will never require you to lose yourself to keep it. And what Allah has kept for you will arrive in a way that brings peace, not confusion. Until then, hold on to Him, because when your heart is with Allah, you will never feel empty again.